Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Lissy, and today I want to take you through a workout if you have been sitting too much. So we're going to do a combination of stretch and strengthening movements here. What you're going to need for this workout, I have one set of 8-pound dumbbells that I'm going to use for a Romanian deadlift. If you are unfamiliar with a Romanian deadlift, please err on the side of something lighter so that we're making sure that your low back is staying supported and protected, and we're working on the form before we get into heavier weights. And then you're also going to want to get a band. If you don't have a band, you can use a towel, you can use a stretching strap. I personally like to use the band because there's a little bit of extra give to it, so it's gonna give your shoulders a little bit more of a resistance as we go through the chest stretch portion of this workout. If you need, go ahead and grab some water, get your workout started on your fitness tracker, and let's begin. Okay, for your first exercise, we're actually going to grab one of your dumbbells. It can be something a little lighter. We're gonna do a core rotation just to kind of get things moving, get things going here. So I want you to take your feet about hip distance apart, keep a slight bend in your knees, and then we wanna make sure that we're actually tucking the hips so that they're stacked right underneath the shoulders to have more of a neutral spine. So I don't wanna have this big arch in my low back. I wanna keep my core tight, hips right underneath my shoulders, and then we're gonna rotate just the upper body here. So the knees are gonna stay tracking straight forward. We're gonna go for 60 seconds. Ready and begin. So we're taking that weight from one side to the other side. I want you to turn so your chest and shoulders are facing one wall. Turn so your chest and shoulders are facing the other wall, and feel that wrap around your entire core, keeping the knees nice and steady so the knees are not going to be following the rotation. Knees stay pointed forward. Taking some deep breaths here, rotating, working through it. As you start to feel more warm, you can speed up that rotation. If you're just starting out, if you're unfamiliar with this movement, go a little slower, use a little bit of a lighter weight, or even just go body weight, that's totally fine. Taking some deep breaths here, doing good. We have a little bit less than 10 seconds to go. Good, hold the glutes tight, just warming up that core. Last 3, 2, 1, good. Okay, go ahead and set that weight down. And then we're gonna grab your band or chest, or your stretching strap, or towel, whatever you have, that we can do a little chest stretch here. So you can take your hands out as wide as you need to. The closer your hands get, the tighter that stretch is gonna be. So go with what works well for you. Doesn't need to be a 10 out of 10 on the stretch. We're looking for about a 7 or 8 on the intensity of that stretch. Same default position, little tuck in the hips, bending in the knees, stretching in the chest, coming all the way back as far as you can, and then all the way back up to the top. Let's do 10 of these. I'm gonna show you a little bit of a side angle as we go through this. So as you're coming up, if the chest is tight, tendency is to arch the back to come back. I want you to avoid arching your back. Keep that tuck in your hips. Come back with that stretch and to the front here. Little exhale, coming up, taking it back. Here's 2. Good, keeping a nice neutral spine. 3. If the chest stretch feels light, you can walk your hands in a little closer to intensify that stretch. If it feels like too much, go hands a little wider. Here's 5. Good. Opening up everything in the chest to counter all of the rounding forward that we tend to do when we're sitting at the computer, sitting on our phone. Good. Let's do 2 more of these. 9. 1 more. 10. Good. Okay. Go ahead and set that weight, the band off to the side, and then we're going to take it down to hands and knees and get into a bird dog. So we just worked on opening up the chest, kind of getting a little warm in the core. Now we're going to work on strengthening through the backside. So your bird dog, we're going to be hands and knees here, and we're taking one arm and the opposite leg to reach out. Again, I don't want to lift so high that I'm arching my back. I want to keep a nice straight line from my fingertips to my toes, and then we're gonna bring it back down, alternating for 12 total. Here we go, little exhale, coming up, reaching out in both directions, squeeze the glute, and then bring it down. Here's 2, nice long reach. Everything in that back side. 4, pulling your belly button in towards your spine. 5, good. Keeping that arm lifted by your ear. 7, good. Like you're being pulled in 2 different directions and then up towards the ceiling. 2 more on each side. 9. Here's 10. Let's get 1 more on each side. Long reach. 1 more. And relax. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna flip over onto your back and take it up into your hip bridge. So, same thing, when you're in that seated position, the hips tend to get tight and everything in the back tends to get a little bit atrophied and less strong. So we're going to tuck the hips to close that space down between your back and the mat, and then roll the hips up 1 vertebrae at a time. We should feel a nice squeeze at the top, squeezing the glutes, pulling that belly button in towards your spine, and then bringing it right back down. We're gonna go for 12 of these. Ready? Here we go. So we're tucking the hips to close the spine down, rolling up, so we're getting a nice stretch in the front of the hips, stretching out everything that gets stuck in that 90-degree position, squeezing everything in the backside, and then bring it down. Tuck and roll up. 2. Good. 3. Weight stays heavy in the heels. 4. Good. Tuck and roll up. 5. If doing this body weight for you feels easy, you have the option to add weights to your hips here. 6, to get a little bit more resistance out of it. 7, there should be a nice straight line from your knee, your hip, to your shoulder. 8, good. Close down, roll up. 9, 10. See if you can find a rhythm with your breathing as you go through these. Don't hold your breath. Last 2. Here's 11. 1 more. And 12. Good. Okay, let's bring it up and we're gonna get into your 90-90s. So again, when we're sitting for too long, we're sitting in this 90-degree position, the hips get very tight and kind of locked in place. So we're gonna go alternating the 90-90s to work the hips in that internal and external rotation, but we're gonna add a little tripod stretch to it. So if my right leg is in front, I'm gonna post my right hand behind me, come up onto my knees, drive my hips forward, so I'm getting a big stretch in the front of my hip here, and then reaching back towards the wall behind me with my left hand and getting that stretch all the way up through my hip, through my side, just a little bit of a back bend, and then we're gonna bring it down and swap to the other side. So we're gonna go 10 total, 5 on each side. Left leg is in front now. Left hand is gonna post back, driving my hips forward. Big reach, big stretch. Exhale on the way up. Inhale coming down, switch it over. Settle into that 90-90. Hips forward, reach back, 2. Good. If you need to, stay with these stretches a little bit longer. 3, good. Drive the hips, 4. 5. Great stretch for the hips. And for your side, 6. Good. 7. 3 more. 8. Last 2. 9. Good. One more here. And 10. Good. Okay, so next one, we're gonna take it to a reverse plank bridge. So you're actually gonna stay up on your hands for this one. Fingers are gonna point straight out to the side to begin. If this feels easy and you wanna walk your hands back a little further, that's more of an advanced stretch, advanced option for this. So if you're just starting out, keep fingers pointed straight out to the sides for this one. We're gonna get an exhale and bring the hips up. And our goal is to find a tabletop here. So my knee, my hip, and my shoulder are lined up. And then we're gonna bring it right back down. You're gonna feel a good stretch in your biceps, in your chest on this one, getting the stretch in the hips, and then we're strengthening everything in the backside. So opposing all of that position when you are sitting. Let's go for 10 of these. Here we go, a little exhale on the way up. Squeeze the glutes, open up everything in the front side, and then bring it down. 2. Good. 3. You can slow down if you need to. 4. You don't necessarily have to keep the same pace as me. If you feel good and you want to stay with that stretch, go for it. 5. Good, let's go 5 more. Breathing out, coming up. Squeeze the glutes. Good. 7. Big stretch. I feel that stretch in my biceps. 8 in my chest. 2 more here. 9. Good, last one. And 10. Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna flip it around to your hands and knees. We're gonna go hip circles here. So there's a lot of nuance to what needs to be stretched, what needs to be strengthened when we're sitting quite a bit. The hips get tight, the hips also atrophy or they get weaker when we're not using them and they're in that fixed position. So we're gonna work on some hip circles to not only work the mobility of the hips, but also work on strengthening the glutes and the whole hip complex here. So we're gonna go circles 10 one direction on both legs and then 10 the other direction on both legs. So we're gonna take one leg, extend it straight back, squeeze that glute up and around as high as you can, all the way in towards your elbow, your armpit, and then circle right back out. Let's go 10 going in this forward direction here. Big circle, kick back, squeeze. 2, 3, good. 4, still holding that core tight. 5, keeping the upper body steady. 6, 7, 8. So you're also going to start to feel a little resistance building up on the leg that's holding you up. Last one. 10. Good. Let's go ahead and switch legs, still going with those circles forward. Extend the leg back, squeeze that glute. Circle coming in. 1, 2, 4. Keeping that knee as high as you can as you circle through. 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. 10. Good. We're going to bring it back to the original leg and go the opposite direction. So if my leg is extended behind me, I'm going to pull that knee in first, lift out as high as I can, kick it back, square the hips back up. That's 1, 2, big circle, big range of motion. 3, 4, breathe with it. 5, good. 6, feel that hip working all the way around. 7, 8, 9, one more, and 10. Good, let's take it to the other side. Extending that leg back, drawing that knee in first, take it out wide. 1. As you circle that knee, see if we can avoid letting that opposite arm drop. Stay steady. 3, 4, 5, good. Make sure the hips square up when you come back. 7, 8, 9, last one, 10, good. Okay, shake your wrists out. Let's go ahead and bring it up onto your feet, and we're gonna go for your Romanian deadlifts next. Like I said, if this is a new movement for you, please err on the side of something lighter, because this is the motion that people will tend to injure their low back because they're not lifting properly. So we really want to focus on keeping the shoulders squeezing back in together, keeping the chest nice and tall, and pushing the hips back. Just a slight bend in the knees as we hinge forward at the hips. I'm not going to reach with my arms. I don't want to reach with my shoulders and start to round my back. That's what happens when people go to pick something up and then they tweak their low back. So we must keep the back very straight, slight bend in the knees, hinging forward. You can do this just body weight as well. You should feel a good stretch in your hamstrings when we get to the knees, and then we're going to drive back to the top, tuck the hips, squeeze the glutes. Get a little inhale as you come down, not reaching with my arms. I'm keeping my shoulder blades back and together and just hinging at my hips. Getting that stretch in the back of the legs and then driving up. Good. Hold the shoulders back and together. So this is strengthening everything in the backside, your upper back, your low back, the glutes, the hamstrings. Good. Inhale coming down, exhale up. I think that was 8. Let's do 4 more. Good. 3, 2, 1 more. Inhale down and exhale up. Excellent. Okay, go ahead and set those weights down. Excellent work, everyone. If you enjoyed this workout, if you found it useful, please do let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you know somebody who would also benefit from doing some of these movements. If they're sitting too much, please be sure to share this video. I will leave some links in the description below for my full personal training program if you want even more content than what I'm posting on YouTube at the moment. Thank you so much for joining me. Have fun, master these movements, and I will see you in the next workout.